Time for some Golden Monkey. We might do some Golden Monkey very soon. I just popped open a Sody Pop, though, so we're doing that first. This shirt is very uncomfortable because I bought it and then I didn't wash it since I bought it, and so it's kind of stiff and weird. You know, you got to wash it to loosen it up. I thought the Kappa guy got canceled, or is that the PogChamp guy? I guess it's the PogChamp guy. Okay, well, that's too bad. PogChamp. He's French. He's French. So people have basically stopped using PogChamp, right? Like, I don't see it much anymore. Or maybe because it's the lizard, I just don't notice it. Okay. Yeah, I might change out of this shirt. It's a little too uncomfortable, but we'll use it to get ourselves into the flow. So right now I'm finishing up writing some basic data about the program to a file. And then we'll read it from the file. And then we will bring back bananas. But bananas used to run inside the compiler, right? And we will resurrect it as a separate client program that just runs, right? And you eventually it'll, you know, view things in an interesting way. I don't know how far we will get in this tonight. Could be very far, could be less far. We'll find out. Is my mic on? I don't think it is. I think it's off. Okay, so I got info about the imports and info about the files, and we're going to put info about the procedures in all the files. And so what, you know, in your meta program, that info comes through, and we're saving it out in a serialized way. And we're doing it in a fun way where instead of being all JSON-like and crap, we don't like that. You just map the memory, and you don't have to create any intermediate data structures for the things, right? So there we go. Anyway, that is the plan. Okay, so we got these procedures, and I want to basically do the same things that I have done for the other stuff. We probably have a procedure record. All right. And what we do is we say, because, so we're going to make this thing so that it can be mapped back just as a whole thing. and it's going to use relative pointers. So this is like going to be the first industrial strength use of relative pointers that we've done. So those are like here. And we're just going to, yeah. So when we save the file out, we basically write this big contiguous record here. And I'm just going to paste this code to start with. And then we're going to see. Okay, so we're going to go, I think it's called header.name. Procedure record plus name.count plus 1. Ensure contiguous space. This is a procedure record. And we don't do this. Now we start filling this out. So that's a little weird, but okay. Oh, when I said, okay, hold on. Okay. We need this. I'm probably forgetting some of these variable names. We're just going to see how it goes. Okay, so now this is file index, and we don't know what this is yet. We're going to have to look that up. And then we're going to go to here, and we're going to write out the name as a relative pointer string. Like this. Procedure record. Okay, so several loose ends here. First of all, this is the wrong type, so that's going to be a disaster till we change that. And then probably like some of these need to be more strongly typed or something. Let me see. Let's not worry about it. Let's just see what happens. Okay. So expression is not right because that's the wrong type. So procedures here needs to be a table from type checked of. Oh, no. Really, we just want, let me see. Is there? So the thing is, we get this message. And it's got sub-expressions. We kind of want that. Let's just map it to that. Actually, we don't really want a pointer. something like that. Okay, so expression is not a, wait, what? Procedures. Value, oh, that's value, comma, key. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay, so number sign it is mismatched. Num expressions. Let's make that an S32. That'll go. Okay. Okay, file index. Like I said, we don't know what this is. And the reason we don't know what that is because we need to do this kind of a thing, but different. All right, so we're going to do this, file index, and we're going to go, so for the body, we will have a location and an enclosing load. If body.enclosing load, we're going to look that up in that hash table. Oops, file index. And we had better have it. Actually, you're not. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's give it integer because that hex number down. Okay, so we got 109 procedures and we have the names, and these are the names that have been decoded after we encode the thingies. And if we go to our file, we have exported.code info at 6K now. So if I go there, here we go. Look at all the things that are in the file. That's great. Now, exported.code info is not a very exciting name. I just needed, that's just the default file name for if you don't pick another file name, but like, what is this format that we are defining? And I was like, all the names that I wanted to come up with, like code view, because it's a program viewer. Program view sounds too long. Code view is already taken by Microsoft Sag. And then like words like inspector or whatever, they're all too long. So like I don't actually know what the name of this file format should be, unless it's kappa, but that might be bad. So you know, I'm having this crisis where I don't know what to call it. Easy Sag, okay. Don't call it free speech. That is a very good point. Don't call it Shirley, that's for sure. Does anyone have actual suggestions for what would be a good file format? This is going to be, it's the format that just says, here's where all the functions are in your program and the files. And maybe we'll add much more data than that later, but for now it's just that. Glad to see chat is living up to its tradition of very high quality. Call it banana. But I kind of would like a more descriptive and or serious name. If somebody's trying to learn what all this stuff is and they're like, what is a banana file? What does it say besides the names of functions? I will show you what it says right now. It has this information. Something like Vim's tags. I don't know what Vim's tags are. I don't follow all the new bands that come out. Let me heat up some water. Today I accidentally knocked over a ceramic water bottle that I got in Taiwan that had a cool dragon on it. And it shattered. I got it in Taipei 101, man. It was terrible. What happened? I could probably figure out how to order a new one without going there. That's why I can't have nice things. I had that nice thing for like 3 years, and now I don't have it anymore. Three years is like longer than some people's entire life. Okay. So, let us I don't think I want to I called this file export, and it's too much export because I would call the other one import, but import already means something in this language. So let's call it right here, and we'll go all right, and we're going to go to, I'm going to write that. Okay, so cool. Let's just call these write and read. Should have done a replace. Okay. Still compiles. What happens if I do Sokomon? Oh, I can't do this in Sokomon Game without a little more work. Because Sokomon Game doesn't take plugins off the command line because we have our own whole meta program for that and haven't worked that out. Okay. Oh, dang it. I got some milk. I got a spoon. Oh. got a little dump bowl because we're going to do this the totally legit way and do a washing of the tea before we use it. We have washed the tea. Now we are steeping the tea. Does it feel good to be back home for a while? Yes. Yes. Name Codex. I don't want to get sued by Felicia Day, but maybe. That's an interesting idea. That's not a bad idea, actually, because it's sort of a pun. Like codex always was a weird word, because it seems like a technological word, and it isn't. But then if you make it one, call it Felicia Day. I don't think she would appreciate that. Okay. Now. Oh, I still have this Emacs buffer. That's a recipe for disaster. Okay, so here, what do we do here? Because we have a serialized file as well that's like separate, whatever. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're just going to do frickin' everything. We're going to go dump file, and we're just going to take a file name and like, yeah, you don't really want to, we're just making it work, right? So we're going to go, yeah. We're going to dump the file. So first we're going to go data success is read entire file on name. Success log error unable to read file whatever. And return file. I guess we'll return. I don't know why, but okay. So here we go. If data.count is less than, this is the wrong module. We should actually call this something else, like header record. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, let's call it that. Let's just do this. Let's not derail. We'll rename it later. Header size of that's also a fail. Okay, so now we're going to go header is cast pointer to header record data.data. And then we say print header is whatever. All right, so we're going to go over here And we're going to import, it's called export, which is confusing. What is the module parameter called? I don't have to use the name, but it's probably cleaner. Usage mode equals .read. All right. And then dump file, what did I call it? Exported.codeinfo. I kind of like codecs now. Is there a file format called codecs already? There probably is, right? Let's see. There probably is. I guess not. Oh. CNE operational data exchange format. You can tell that they really backronymed that shit. It's got XML, guys. It looks like we're not going to be able to defend Taiwan. But it doesn't look like they actually use the extension, so we'll do that for now. Okay. So we're just going to hard code this file name for now because, again, we're just making it work. All right. So this probably won't compile, but oh, we actually want to rewrite with the new name. Cool. And then table. Oh, because we didn't import hash table. Oh, we need that. Okay, hold on. That's improperly factored because that's the plugin. This should go in the other file. Into write. Just making sure that still works. Okay, so my plugin, note file, dump file. Yeah, all that is in the wrong place. That's why we factor things, cause read entire file. We don't return true. There we go. Does it still work to write? And there we go. Header. Oh, I gotta print this. Gotta dereference it. Oh, wrong one. Okay, version, magic number, that's the right version 1, subversion. Okay. The strings at the end are off by, well, I was going to say 2 bytes each, but this is badge. This is badge. It's not that badge because it's mostly fine. The comment is, oh, wait, these are pointing to totally the wrong place. Totally the wrong place. Okay, weird. Like, I was fooled by this is a valid string, but like, it's not really. Oh, shit. I just realized something very bad. It has to do with what my assumptions were about calling convention. Of this language. Anyhow, maybe it's not that bad. Okay. So why is this wrong? Let's go back to the right phase. And we're just going to print the header. And we're going to comment these out. See, when we print the header from the right phase, it actually works. Let me just try dereferencing. So we got the right magic. We got all these things, 15 files, 110 procedures, reserved. And even this, it's like this is the right length. Sort of. Actually, with the special characters, we don't know. Oh, actually, no, it is. It's one, like there might be a non-printing character in there, but if there's not, this is 3 characters longer than this, which is why it's shifted over by 3. So you can see this has the word men, which was canceled up here now because men are canceled. But the point being, it's the same length. So it's pointing somewhere badge. Let me just try really simply. And yeah, it's so what have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? So that comes out the same. Header.comment.data. R2. That's correct. Oh, you know what? I know what happened. Okay, so see, we print this out, but I don't correctly advance us to the end. So we overwrite. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. All right, so here we go. Because we're advancing through insured space. Wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. This is wrong. Right there. I did it down. Yeah, okay. Nastygram. Didn't need to recompile that. There we go. It is correct now. You see? You see? Okay. So we have loaded that from a file, and it has all the things. So I guess we run the tests. Oh, geez, the tea's been steeping. I was going to go light on the caffeine, but how many minutes has it been? Oh, I forgot my things. Say hello to my little friend. Okay. So oh, it smells aromatic. Oh my god, I oversteeped it. It's also this batch of Golden Monkey is getting a little old, if I'm being honest. All right, we're gonna remake it though. We're also going to cut the tags off the Kappa shirt on the inside because they're annoying as hell. All right. Any questions about what we have been doing so far? About why things are done a certain way, for example, or WTF? Anyone? What was the string bug fix? It was just that. So when I was writing the data, so I'm writing the data into linear memory at write time, and then I'm reading it at read time. And I wrote the data out correctly at write time, but then like I just didn't put the right cursor far enough. So it was on top of the string data. So then now when I wrote in the information about the modules and stuff, it was on top of the string data that I was already pointing to. So we were even pointing to the right place. It's just I clobbered that data. Yeah, I'm going to want to order a fresh golden monkey. Although I don't think this tea is supposed to get old this fast. Maybe it just did. Maybe it just did. Nobody else has questions. There's 300 people here. Nobody cares. Well, one person has questions. It says best before September 2024, but maybe I left it open at some point. I don't know. Hopefully this time we will remember to give it a mere 3 or 4 minute steep. Okay, so I'm going to commit this, and hopefully there are no check-ins. I'm going to go. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Not yet. Because we're only printing the header. All right. Oh yeah, there was this as well. Plus header dot URL or generation command dot count plus header dot comment dot count plus 2. Cursor is data dot data plus forward. Okay, this is where the module info starts. 402 header.num modules, whatever, and then we'll have a loop for num files. We won't do the procedures yet because that's a lot more data. We won't even do the files yet. So for all the modules, we have a module record, and we're going to say record is cast pointer to module record of cursor. We're going to say print module whatever, and it index and contents of record, and then we're going to say cursor plus equals record dot, well, this thing's size of type of record plus record dot fully paths file name dot count plus 1. All right. No it in, oh yeah. I should have it index alias it in an integer loop. Oh boy, that is kind of wrong. Okay. Well, I'll go so far as to say it's very wrong, actually. It's good. We've got a big string. Oh, module 0 is correct, though. Oh, wait, I was looking at the wrong record. See, okay, I was looking here and I was like, there's only one string, but this one has two strings and one of them happens to have the same name, which is why, okay. There's two strings in this one. Sorry, guys. Okay. Oh, -1. Okay, cool. See, so I made a couple mistakes there, but it only took a little bit of time to recover. And then now we have this totally good binary file that is very fast to read from, right? Like binary files aren't actually scary. Like people think that they're scary, which is why the world runs on these horrible JSON files. They're not scary. They're good. All right. So then we'll do the same thing here. This is going to be a file record. And let's go. We'll just put in notes here. We're not going to, I don't think I'm going to care about byte swapping these for a long time. We're going to print out each file. And then this is what we did there. So boom, there's all the files. Isn't the issue portability? No, there's no portability issue. Okay. Yeah, guys, this doesn't taste as delicious as it's supposed to. Maybe Florida water is not good with Golden Monkey, or maybe I just left it open and it lost its chi. Maybe during the move it got exposed to much higher than room temperature. I don't know. Do I have a Berkey filter? Yes, but I've not been using it because my refrigerator has a filter in it and I'm just using that. I don't know. Okay. So yeah, I should specify that the strings are UTF-8. I sort of I think it's in this file for some reason. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of milk in the Golden Monkey. is why I brought this shot glass of milk. You're pretty sure that you have to put the type of ND in this. So we're ignoring that right now because it's trivial, because every processor that we care about currently is little endian. And what we can do here, where I say byte swap if necessary, we can, I haven't actually made the function yet, but we could make it probably in a short amount of time that generates code. Like you can make a little meta program function that, let me go back to the, that looks at something like this and looks at what all the multi-byte integers are and generates code to do the assembly instruction to do the byte swap for all of these, right? So like, let me show you. So here we have byte swap, for example, and this is a pretty generalized function. I want to add a feature or two later that'll make this a little more compactly writable, because the only difference is like these. Well, here, the size 2 needs to be register A. But the point being, these are like just assembly instructions, right? So you could have a macro or a metaprogram thing that takes this struct as an argument, and it just says 4-byte bswap at offset 0, 4-byte bswap at offset 4. Revision control type, I forget. I think that's 8. Yeah, it's 8. 8-byte bswap at position 8. 8-byte bswap at position 16. And it's just like a small number of assembly instructions, and it gets automatically generated when you compile. But like, we're just not even worrying about that stuff right now because it doesn't matter. The last platform that I programmed for that was big endian was Xbox 360. If I remember correctly. Was Xbox 360 big endian? I don't even know now. That was 2 Xboxes ago. Okay, let's rename serialized header to header record. All right. Make sure that compiles. We'll recompile this. Okay, and we'll run this again. There we go. So I think we check that in for now. And then we'll start doing some experiment like, okay. So the thing is, because this data is just the data that you want all packed together in a thing, there's not that much to do with it, right? Like all this code, I sort of was starting to make this so that like, hey, this will help with people do things. But like everything this is doing is how do I say? Like everything this is doing is like not something that you want to do. except for these like increments and stuff, the cursoring along the things. Those lines are useful. So I feel like maybe we do a thing where we just give you the pointers to these things in unpacked arrays. We say like, here's the header and here's the procedures, right? And that's just a convenience function. And then you don't have to worry about this cursoring between the things. You can just use the guys, right? That sounds good. Can you just memory map it? I mean, so right here we're reading it from a file, but this part doesn't matter. You don't ever want to hard code this in anyway, because, you know, like if you're running as a game, this file might be in an asset package along with a ton of other files, right? So you don't want to tie decoding the thing to the file reading. So the standard way that you do this is you have a decode from memory function, and then you, if you want to decode from file function, then it's very short. It says, read the file into memory, decode from memory. Could you memory map it? I mean, sort of, but like the thing you have to realize is that memory mapping like that is kind of like Unix people decided that was a smart thing to do a while back, but like it's not. If you're a performance programmer, you don't really want to memory map things. Well, you don't want to do it at places where the OS decides when it's going to load it and stuff. That's terrible for performance. It's very bad. Now, maybe you make your own memory segment and then you kick off a DMA that loads the thing into there. That's like much better. But like memory mapping a thing and saying, ooh, I use GNU/Linux and I think it's great if the operating system just pages these in when I use them. That's terrible. You will never make a performant game that way, or any interactive application that feels good. So don't do it. Okay. Xbox 360 was little endian. Yeah, you know what? After I said that, I was thinking, wait, maybe they had an endian toggle and they were little endian for compatibility reasons. I feel like they had an endian toggle. Okay. I actually use GNU/Linux. No, I use actual Linux. Okay, so before doing the next step, we're just going to take our win. It's like, hey, we got a thing. Let me just check that. Oh no, we're getting build passings. Oh, you know what? This is all like module stuff, so probably yeah. When did I update? So it was after that revision. Oh yeah, that was a while ago, hours ago. Okay, so we're going to take the W and then we're just going to keep going. But checking it in and taking the W is an important psychological technique. So modules export successfully exports files. Cool. Okay. Now, how is actual Linux not a distribution? It has to be. It has to be. With regard to alignment, the gamble that we are making is that no reasonable CPU is ever going to crash on unaligned access again, because that's very bad. Because memory is slow enough now that the amount of memory that you waste aligning things like kind of really starts to matter. So like in the past, like if you had a MIP CPU or something and you had a pointer that wasn't aligned to the size of the pointer, like that would, you know, and you tried to dereference that, that was bad news bears. Even some Intel chips did that. I think modern Intel chips don't care. Modern ARM chips don't care. And any future CPU, if it did care, what they would do is they would just have it like do a slower pair of reads and put the value together. That's just what would happen. So now if you somehow had to port this to some extreme computer, like, I don't know, the mill or something, where that wasn't true, you could do an alternate reader for this file format that manually decodes all the things. And it's just that slower than being able to point to the stuff directly in memory, but you could do it. So if you ever hit a CPU like that, you don't get the benefit. Like, okay, so the reason, there's a few choices that we made here, right? So A, we're packing all the data in binary. B, all the numbers are little endian. Why? Because all the machines we care about right now are little endian, and for the foreseeable future are little endian. That might change. Big endian might become the standard, who knows? But for now, we don't have to byte swap anything when we load it because it's stored little endian, and that is maximally fast. All right? Like I said, you just point at the memory and use it like we're doing here. If you load it on a big endian machine, it's a little slower because you got to do these byte swaps. Not that much slower because byte swaps are actually, you know, CPU instructions like that are much faster compared to memory these days. If you were on, you know, something like the mill where you couldn't have unaligned pointers, actually it wouldn't matter because our pointers in this are integers anyway. But imagine some other data structure where we were storing pointers unaligned. You would just have to you would have to read that pointer out as not a CPU dereference and reassemble it into somewhere aligned, which takes a few instructions, right? And so it's slower there. But you can do it just fine. So, yeah. Are we thinking of ditching struct padding? Yes, except I mean, that definitely introduces a little bit of friction on interfacing with C because it's like, oh, you forgot to do the thing, right? We could issue a warning or an error if you pass a struct into C that doesn't have C style padding. But that might be annoying because you don't actually want to check if it's flagged that way. Because, like, you know, vector 3 is fine because it happens to line up or whatever. So what you really want to check is, like, does the C and non-C version of this struct disagree? Which maybe we can actually just flag that at struct creation time and it's not any slower. Anyway, I haven't thought through it completely, but like the naive version of getting rid of padding makes it harder to interface with C because people might make the mistake, right? I mean, we would, of course, give you a flag that says pad this like C so you don't have to do it manually, obviously. Like, we would give you a flag that says do the current thing. You feel like that explanation should be in this file? It probably will be eventually. It's just we're early on this, right? Monad language server protobuf Linux when? I mean, everybody seems to want to do a language server all the time, so make a Twitch clip and throw the URL in. I'll make a Twitch clip, I'll mime encode it, and paste it into this file as a comment. How's that? Wouldn't that be actually kind of cool? The only thing that wouldn't be kind of cool is you'd be skipping through that comment like every single time. We just put it as a file in the folder and refer to that with a smaller comment. 5 megabytes? Dude, only 5 megabytes? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay. Now what? Let's do our thing where we're going to say, we're going to say helper, hamburger helper, codex helper. We're going to use the at least temporary file extension name. This is going to be a struct. We're going to go header is a header record. Okay, we're going to say file data is, let's call it memory because it didn't necessarily come from a file. Header is a header record. For convenience, we scan through the file and give you these pointers to the various records so you don't need to worry about cursoring, okay? So we're going to go modules is an array of pointer to module record. Files is an array of pointer to file record. Procedures, oops, is an array of pointer to procedure record. And there we go. They are pointers to the records rather than copying because pointers rather than copies, because if we were to copy them, the relative pointers that we use for strings would not reach. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to say make helper okay. So what are we going to do? We're going to do a lot of this stuff. Before we do that, we're going to say helper is a codex helper. helper dot memory is data. All right, let's just call this memory. Be consistent. All right. It's too short. All right. So we're going to say header. We're going to say helper.header is header. Okay. Oh, let's, by the way, array reserve modules, comma, header.num modules, reserve files, header.num files, array reserve programs, header.num programs. All right, and then down here, we're going to go. We actually could assign this early and assert that they don't change, but whatever. Or do it down here to be safe. Header dot modules is modules. Actually, you know what? Okay, just keeping it together. Okay, so we're sizing these arrays, we're assigning them out. And then we're doing the cursoring. We're going to go array add modules. We'll check it at the bottom. Okay. So we array add two modules, comma, record and cursor, right? And here we go, array add files record and cursor, and we're going to do programs eventually. This is -1. I can't believe I goofed that. All right. So now what? We make a helper. We'll comment this out. Helper success. Helper is make. Helper data if. All right, and then just going to print that. And I'm sure this totally does not compile yet. Make helper data. Oh, yes. Can I do that cast? I wanted to, got one. Ah, yes. Modules. Did I not do this somehow? Programs. Oh, it's procedures. Okay, modules is not a member of header record. Oh, this is not header dot. We have two HE something something ER words. And it's really confusing me. Okay, and then I want to do assert. You know what? Let's do this. Why even do it this way? Because instead, we should get an array bound. If we do it this other way, we'll just get an array bounds check error if it's wrong. So modules sub it equals record. That's better. Oh, files sub it equals record. Hey, there, oh, okay. No, that that looks legit. Like this is the memory. That's the correct magic number. That's CODE in binary. And I mean, there's a bunch of nulls, I guess, because those are the programs or the procedures, right? We've got modules from here to there. We've got files and procedures, and they're just pointers because we're not printing the contents. So what I could do is go, instead of printing this now, we can go for helper.imports print like that. No, it's not imports. Modules. Okay, there we go. We see that we have the data just fine right there. So, I mean, we'll just do that. Helper.files. So in terms of giving code to a user that they then want to modify, this is much nicer, right? Because like, oh, I know how to look at this and do something with it. Oh, let's print out the header. Helper header. That's actually confusing. I should name it something besides helper for that reason alone. What's a good reason, a good name besides codex helper. Okay, so now we have that familiar header with all the things. Loader. I mean, it's not really a loader. It's just convenience. Convenience. In the comment, speaking of typo, what? Copies. Dude, I make so many typos in comments. It's fine. All right. Actually, there's what? That's fine. Anyway. Well, we can now put some stuff in here. And then oops. Boom. That's enough data for bananas. We'll take the W. Any questions about that before we proceed? What do we say here? We say convenience struct for. What if I call it help instead of helper? Because it's not like doing anything. right? This is not object-oriented. This is not actor-oriented programming. Paid actor-oriented programming, yes. Any question? Real questions? Any questions? How do bananas tie into all this? Well, long-term followers of the stream will know. And we're talking long-term at this point, man. Going on 8 years. Damn, dude. Okay, so let me turn off the air conditioner. Okay. Added codecs help. Boom. Okay, so now, is Matrix 4 any good? No, it is not. It is not any good. Watch Matrix 4 pitch meeting on YouTube. Is it good ironic? No, it is not even good ironically. Just go on YouTube and search for Matrix 4 pitch meeting. And you will understand. How bad can it be? Well, I hope Matrix was not a formative part of your childhood. Okay, so, I mean, this is already enough to deliver value to the people for this module. I mean, I don't know who's going to use this yet. I mean, maybe somebody would use it, but we will use it to go bananas with. So now in Sokoban, we had bananas. here. And this is an 800 line thing. And it's like, pretty much we don't want a lot of it. We really don't. Because like we're going to use simp and all these things. So in fact, we'll use getRect. We'll use the getRect example. So I think we copy the getRect example into a new program. And then we'll just start putting the things in here that make sense into there. Wait for the RLM best to the worst on Matrix 4. They did a half in the bag on it already. Some people say Matrix 4 is designed to make Warner Brothers lose a lot of money. I don't think so. What was the first game I made money on, and did I ever take a job to pay bills before I succeeded in the games industry? I totally do not care about questions like that. Can I describe how metaprogram plugins work? I mean, I'm not that into giving exposition about how interesting things that we do work, because people just go and do low quality copies of them and claim their programming language is awesome. So it just, if you happen to see things, that's great, but I'm not doing presentations about things. Are we writing Bananas now? Yeah, we're going to rewrite it as an external. It's going to be the genesis of a just a program understanding visualization utility. And it's not going to be much to write home about yet. In fact, it's going to be mostly like old Bananas to start with, but it'll just be the end-to-end, because it used to be a thing that runs in the compiler, right? And so now it runs outside. Would I do a more formal talk once the language is released? Probably, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to be secretive about anything in the long term. Like what I'm trying to do with this programming language is make technological advancements, and technological advancements are only advancements if people understand them broadly, right? So yeah, that's the plan. It's just in the short term, just people are annoying and kind of jerks about this stuff. And my only defense is not to give them ammo to shoot me with. And I wish it weren't that way, but that's how it is. Okay, so, and we're not going to put the music in. The music was in Bananas just to be funny. We're not going to do any of that stuff. So it actually was pretty simple once you take that stuff out. All right, so let us make a... We'll call it codex view now since we're tripling down. So we're going to go to the getRect example. Is there? Yeah, there's only one example. Right? And then we're going to copy pasta this, whoops, to and now it's just going to be, I don't know, main. We'll change that later probably. And then I guess we'll make a data folder. And then etc. Okay, so all right. So those files are in source control. Not really yet because we haven't checked them in, but we will not forget to add. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, that example is hard-coded to expect fonts. We're going to change the fonts later, so we're not going to check them in, but oh, no, modules, data, no, examples, data, these, and we'll change those later. Okay, so this is the same as our getRect widget scenario example. But we're going to delete all these except maybe the buttons and maybe maybe the text entries, one of them. All right. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. I see. Okay, main is fucking drag and drop thing that we're gonna have to deal with later. Like we'll probably make some better. Actually, we don't even want drag and drop right now, do we? I'll comment it out. All right. Okay. We're just going to sleep every frame. We don't care. All right, draw one frame. We clear the render target. Oh yeah, that's in getRect. All right. We have our Hello Sailor button. We get rid of our themes. We keep the first text input. Get rid of the T's. We get rid of the sliders. Get rid of the drop downs. Get rid of the color picker. Get Get rid of the slidable region, which had other widgets inside it. That's why it was so big. Get rid of the drag and drop. Get rid of the sub windows. We'll leave the title because we'll probably change that. Draw pop-ups, swap buffers. Okay. Sub window. My init fonts. We'll change that in a bit because our bananas will have stuff. Window creation. Why are we making our own window? Doesn't Simp do that for us? I guess not. All right. Anyway. Okay, what did we screw up? Nothing. Amazing. All right, all right, all right. So that's great. We're just going to leave those widgets there where they are. Okay, that doesn't deselect. That's annoying. Whatever, we'll deal with it later. We're just going to leave widgets where they are and all that. That is perfectly fine to start. Oh wait, scroll value will delete. Groceries, spells. Get rid of the comment. Put this down here. Okay, cool. So from here, what do we do? Well, we just go to bananas. And I'm starting to get tired, so we might end the stream a little bit, or we might switch to a manly gaming stream. But this has been good headway, right? Like we've actually got a program that will become the thing. Oh, let's just start up by we're gonna go here. We're gonna say okay, so we're gonna read this file. We're just gonna pasta all this, and probably should rename this module because export. We're importing export. Usage mode is .read, yeah, and then oh, I'm editing banana. I'm editing the wrong file, guys. All right. Bananas is going to go away. All right, so we're going to go we're just going to do all the things. But we're going to say we're not going to get rid of this. It's a global. All right. Read entire file. Okay. Okay, so we're not calling this. So when we start up, we're going to want init codex of, we'll put it in data. Actually, no. Because this is not going to be a long-term thing where we do a hard-coded file. There we go. We readed all the data. Look at all the data. Okay. So that's great. So now we have things to draw. And we could start porting bananas. We're getting down to the smallest sun chip crumbs in the bottom of the bag. So the plan is, I think, I want to at least draw like in the old bananas code, we had a thing, for example, that sorts procedures by size. So we could make a file just to try to be clean that has that. Let's see. Wrong file. Bananas. Draw stat declarations. Oh, that's a counter, I think. Oh, no. No. Okay. All right. Oh, I ported bananas to simp already. I forgot that I did that. That's great. That's really good. Okay. So we're just going to make this compile. So we at least need wow, didn't even have enums. And then all right, sort method. That's what I was looking for. My brain just dropped out for a second. Graph view mode. Let's get some shorter names there. Okay. Stat declarations is going to be called what is our thing called? So we have call it proc view is. Okay, so we're just going to go put them in. Actually, let's just do this every time because we could set dirty, whatever. Okay, so now these are different. Instead of proc info, it's going to be procedure record because we're just reading it straight out. We might want to make this our own data structure later, but for now, that's what this is. Okay, so procedure record has num expressions. So instead of sub expressions.count, it's num expressions. Okay. Anyway. So compare by name. Oh, by file. Yes, 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 yes. So this is just an array subscript, but I just wanted to factor it out. Just like that. Okay, so compare by name. We actually if they are the same, maybe. Okay, so we get down here to compare by name, and we get okay. So there's going to be some more stuff down here. Oh, and we're going to want to make this run on the Linux too, eventually. Am I going to TwitchCon? I have never been to TwitchCon. This may give you information about the probability of me being at TwitchCon. That said, Dr. Disrespect had a fun time there, so I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't answer thoughts on questions. Okay. So although that's a better thoughts on question than the usual ones are. It's better. How do you improve X is better than what do you think about the current thing, which is what the question usually is. So this is sorted procs See, this is already going to be weird. That's fine. We'll see. Current proc. This was get file record. It dot fully pathed file name. Oh. Actually, no. Gonna copy these out. Whoops. My brain is not. So we're doing text. Okay. Why am I S printing here? Oh my gosh. Okay. Compare strings. Helper, because it's codex help. Oops. That's not worth it. File record given double pointer file record. Yes. Stat declarations. Oops. Duraquad. Did we? I guess we'll copy these for now and we'll clean them out later. H-Wind. Which we don't need to use directly. Okay, proc info. No, we have get name. Well, that's a little bit redundant, but okay. Oh, this is procedure name. This is just, it's a different name. Okay, sorted oh. What is it called? Procedure record. Render width. Okay. This is where it becomes kind of a pain in the butt that we will want to sort out later. But I want to get it at least going. And we'll clean it out later. We don't even need to simp in it anymore. Okay, let's just not even have those. All right, that's fine. Font effects. That's right. I was about to type the same thing, and I was like, let me just check what I did. Oh. What? Oh, that was part of the other. Okay. Okay. We're just gonna do that. Bro, I can't catch a break right now. Okay, current stat declaration. Just gonna be exactly one match. Nope, two. Oh, procuration. And then this decal is not, okay, so we're going to go, file is get file record from current proc and file dot fully pathed file name and stat fonts. Stat font. It was hanging out on its own. Wow. Bro. Okay. We are not calling any of that. So we want it called draw stat declarations. I don't want to rename that, but okay. This is happening in draw one frame. We'll do it before any of the widgets. Let's not worry about that yet. Label H over W. We died. I should put in the thing where it draws the stack trace when you crash. Oh, because I'm not, I don't actually, oh, because I didn't, there's several problems. So firstly, we need our fonts, Carmina bold. Everything that I ever work on always ends up with Carmina as the font. It's just how it is. It's life. Fonts, Carminas, and we will not ship these as fonts for this thing because they're commercial still probably. So we'll have to substitute them. But for now, we will use them. Just to get ourselves rolling. Hey, look. By size. Okay, well, we're not actually seeing anything there for some reason. Also, the Hello Sailor button is in the wrong place. We're going to use that eventually to switch modes and stuff, because it used to just be invisible clicking that switched modes. And we will want that. Okay, so that's out of the way. And now we've got this graph here where we say by size. And, well, we're not seeing anything. The outer rectangle is in fact fine. Oh, because we're not. Oh, no, we are. Okay. Anyway, so we feel fine about this, so we won't actually print these things. So what next? I'm getting tired, folks. Well, Oh, we never set this to dirty. Let's just set it up here once. We never do the thing. Okay, well that's great. Examples, codex view. All right, so we are comparing strings. Okay. This didn't work. So this is maybe something about, oh. Let's, that's a little bit, we're probably going to want some, basically I copied the thing to a place where its pointer can't reach anymore. And we probably should throw you in a pit when you do that. This is fine though, probably. Hey, look. Guys, we're reading it out of the file. These are all the things. All the data is valid. Okay, so now when you press hello sailor, we're going to change the mode, all right? Sort method. I don't know if that'll work. Yep. All right, so by size. So this is the big, well, except they're not sorted. Okay, so it claims they're by size, but they're not sorted by size. So that is, they're not sorted by anything, so that's weird. By file, by size. So the sorting is not actually happening. But everything else is. So why? How, Sway? Oh, actually, when we do this, we want to resort, which is why we set dirty. I don't think that's going to fix anything, but oh. Like it's actually doing something. Like what? Compare by size. I mean, it has the right size. These sizes are all correct looking. They're certainly so why? Oh, are we iterating over something besides? So well, we are, aren't we? We are. Wait, maybe not. Sorted procs. Oh, compare by name is comparing file names, by the way. I mindlessly did this. That's not really going to fix much, but let's at least get it. So now we at least have 3 sorts. Now why? Like what? What am I doing that is incorrect? Question of my life. So we've got 3 different sorts. Let's just refresh it every frame. This isn't going to fix anything. It's just for maximum avoidance of doubt. Why do we think like this is going to be super spammy. No, those are totally fine numbers, dude. And because we're... Wait, what? Why is it always the same? Oh. What? Like, I would expect it to be similar a lot of the time because it's a sorting algorithm, but... Why is it usually comparing things to themselves? That seems very bad. Multiple times in a row? What is happening? Of course, I haven't printed out the actual... I mean, okay, it's always in pairs of 2, which is very, very sus as well. Did I, like, break quick sort somehow? Oh, wait, I put this after. Guys, I put it after. There, that's more what I would expect to say. I don't know why my quicksort is comparing things to themselves, though. That seems... that seems like not what you want. And it's doing that a lot. Maybe that has to do with why it's failing? I don't know. Really? Save the file. Oops. So that didn't matter either. What is going on? Am I resorting it, or am I literally... like... You know what? I think it's getting confused. I think because these are pointers, we're doing a pointer compare. Accidentally? No, but the numbers came out right. Look at all the values. Okay, guys. So it's calling the sort functions because it's calling our print here. Like, how could this be? I mean, I could just do this. So it's actually, so these numbers it's giving me do correspond to these heights here. Guys, this is going to be one of these things that's like a super simple bug. Like, it's not sorted. Guys, what is happening? What is happening? Dude, I haven't had a day like this in a long time where I'm just looking at it and I'm like, what is happening? Oh God, this is unsigned, isn't it? I hosed myself with an unsigned subtract. That's what happened. That's what happened. And we don't have math. We don't have math bounds checks in the compiler yet because I keep procrastinating on it. So even though in this simple case it would have saved me some time, because let's go back to this procedure record, num expressions U32. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Unsigned ints are problematic. There we go. That is what we wanted to see, guys. All right, let's undo some of our See, programming isn't that complicated. You just have to not do the wrong thing. You just have to not do the wrong thing. There we go. So this is all the sizes from big ones, 900, down to there. This is by file by size, so you can see new spikes every time. This is for a very small program, because, okay, so here's print, simple string, string builder, module. So really it should be by module by size, probably, or module. Like, it's weird because in your own program, we could have by module by size, and then in your own program, we would have a mode. We would have a mode that's like only your program by file by size. Yeah. Maybe you need a checkbox. Well, the thing is, you don't necessarily care that much about, in all your dependencies, about what's in what file in the dependencies, right? Unless you're, I don't know. We'll see. This is not even what this program is really going to be like eventually. We're just making things happen right now. Look how good Carmina Bold looks. It's the best font in all of human history. Except the numbers have problems. But aside from that, Oh, yeah. All right, that's a good day's work. We have resurrected portions of bananas. This was really the only important part, was these graphs, because the rest was like just playing the music and doing the music visualizer, which was goofy. So I think we start from here, and then we go forward from there. Like, there's just an interesting question. So you probably want to be able to generate new builds over time that like go in here. And like when we do that from the main program or from the meta program, should it by default dump it into a place? Like, should this thing know how to find that place? Should we search for this on the local machine and see if it's running and just like hand it to it directly? I don't know. Why is UID big? Like, oh, and the original Bananas also, it knew how to like open Emacs and pop to that when you clicked on it, so we could put that back. Oh my God, look at this shit. Like, what? Like, all of this is weird because this is literally reading an integer. But like endian swap. Oh no, because they're packed as 4 bits at a time. I don't know, dude. You could probably do this faster. Is that the best way to make a GUID? I don't know. I assume it's just transcribed from reference code. Like, the thing is, if you even look at this hex function, like, this is ridiculous because we're calling a function for hex, but we're not calling a function for these. I don't know. But like, this should never happen if we're well formed, right? And so what you could do is you could say, if it's greater than or equal to 0, do this. Otherwise, oh, I get, yeah, I don't know. It's not that easy. I mean, you could have a 256 entry array that just has this run on the things, which doesn't sound good, but it's not that much memory. And these branches are not that predictable. So because it's a small amount of memory and these branches are not predictable, it's probably much better to just use that array and just keep subscripting it. Or don't convert string GUIDs to binary. Yes, that is true. It is a little bit of a thing to not do. But, you know, we just want to provide this for the people who need to use it, right? Certainly would not be my preference. But anyway, so we got this going again, which is great. This is the start. It's the very start of our program visualizer. It will go well beyond this. But we have all the things we used to have in Bananas. Round tripping to a binary file and back. And then, yeah, like, so, you know, the way telemetry works, for example, is it just, you let it hang out on your machine and it'll give the file to telemetry if it detects that it's running, right? Otherwise, I think it saves it somewhere. But like, that's a little bit of a weird thing to do. Like, we would have to decide where on your system that we save these things. And like, how long do you save them for? Because like, if you want to inspect your program for like how much are things changing over time and whatever, you don't want to archive this data for every single build, I don't think. It's just like once in a while. So you'd probably run this weekly or monthly and save the file. I don't know. What do you plan to visualize? Programs. Now, I thought that we wouldn't see this if we didn't call it. So is somebody actually frickin' calling this? I bet we're calling it to create windows or something. Which is absurd, but it's probably what's happening. Anyway, we could get that figured out once we have call graph visualization and stuff. So, you know, right now, the way that you generate this is, the way that you generate this is now just default metaprogram has it in there when you say -plug export, right? But we could say what options you want. Like, you know, give me a call graph, give me this, give me that. And, you know, by default, who knows what we'll put. Like, there's all sorts of interesting metrics that we could put in there. Like comment density, even, I realized. Except that's a little bit contrived because, like, the Lexer sort of knows that information when it builds the file. But you don't really want to store it in a super sophisticated way, well, unless we track comments. I don't know. Maybe you let this thing, the client, reopen all the files and detect comments or something. Because you might care. You might not want like number of characters that are comments, right? Because there's probably something like, I don't know, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, we'll figure this out over time. I just wanted to get it going. And we did that. We have successfully resurrected bananas as promised to you in the stream title. I didn't even know if we would get this far. I didn't know that we would have this back. But we do. So that's cool. Shouldn't banana graphs be yellow? Well, haven't you ever left a banana out for like a month? It's not yellow. It's that color. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming by. I think I'm going to get some shut-eye if I can after the caffeine that I drank. I hope so. Thank you for visiting. This is the first programming stream we did in a little bit, I think. Or first significant one. We might have done like a little bug fixes one. We did a delivering value to the people last week. But it was a smaller thing than this. And we might do another delivering value to the people this weekend. Because look at the values. Look at how many values we have not delivered to the people right now. I think when there are that many values, it's time to ship a beta out. I just wanted to get this going. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you later.